It's about that time here, boys and girls. Welcome back here. Newsletter time. JJ here. SchoolOfTrade.com. SidewaysMarkets.com is our blog address. Welcome to your nightly newsletter. It is December 2nd. It is a Tuesday evening, December 2nd, 2014. And boy, another great day in the markets today, guys. The only thing we didn't completely get to collapse was the Russell, right? Last night we talked about staying short today. If you took my advice in last night's newsletter, you were on the right side of the market this morning. We had a great day in the trade room today, had a wonderful opportunity here to get short off the highs on crude. We saw gold do pretty much exactly what we expected to do. Boy, I could go on and on and on, but before we jump into our charts and talk about what happened today and give you some strategies for tomorrow, I want to remind you here, make sure you're watching this video on our blog right now at Sideways Markets. If you're watching the video right now on our YouTube page, there is a link below the video, and that'll take you over here to our blog. There are 3 reasons why you got to get over here to Sideways Markets. The first reason is you can download all of my charts that I use here this evening. And guys, I did notice that that link was missing last night, so I just want to go ahead and apologize. If you were trying to find that link there somewhere, I don't know where it went. It kind of disappeared on me last night. I did get it up this afternoon, but again, if you were looking for it last night and it wasn't there, I apologize about that. I'm usually pretty good at double checking all that stuff, but last night I must have been a little bit foggy here at the end of the day. Anyways, first thing here, below the video tonight, you can download all of my charts, and I will make sure that link is there for you this time around. Second thing, upper left-hand corner, you might be wondering what it feels like to be a member in our trade room. Right? Are you curious about what it feels like to be in our trade room? I get a great free pass for all the non-members of School of Trade. Give you an invite there to come out and join us in our live trade room. And then lower left-hand corner, just above my ugly mug, you'll see a spot there to register your name and your email address to register for our nightly newsletter mailing list. That's right. Now you never have to worry about missing another newsletter video. I'll email it to you right before we send it out. Now, if you grab your free pass, if you register for the newsletter, just be aware I'm going to send you an email to verify that I have the right information for you and also to make sure that you're not a robot. So make sure you check your email when you register for the free pass or the nightly newsletter. All right, guys? I think we're ready to rock and roll here, right? Staying bearish for today, but what is the plan for tomorrow? Well, let's start out here with our mighty mini Russell. Now, first of all, we've already talked about this already this week. Russell here is trading sideways, and we have a megaphone pattern. These megaphones are relatively rare. You don't see them very often when we have lower lows and higher highs. So if you happen to get to these trend lines, buy that low, sell that high. It's an inverted wedge, an inverted triangle, technically referred to as a megaphone pattern. So look to buy the low of the megaphone, look to sell the high of the megaphone, and stay away from the middle. Now, we were thinking in last night's newsletter, we were thinking we might slip and fall here off these highs. Didn't happen. And remember, this is exactly what I had cautioned about last night on our newsletter, right? You really got to be careful trying to sell into those lows. And if you remember, I gave you guys that advice last night, just be careful selling that low. So hopefully you listened to my advice last night and didn't get caught trying to sell that low down there at 1150. Now, the big deal right now is you can see we're right back up into the middle of this range. So the bottom line is if you're a long-term seller, your best bet is going to be to wait to sell these highs up here, right? That's going to be the best bet if you're a long-term seller. If you're a buyer right now, wait for price to get down to that 45.3 area and then look to buy it there again. You can keep on buying this low, 1250, 1252 area. You can keep buying this low, right? But again, if you're a long-term buyer, though, I would recommend waiting here to get a little bit lower, right? Kind of catch those sellers trying to catch a top here and then see if it'll go back up. Bottom line right now, though, guys, remember, this is a sideways range. We have a long-term bullish trend going into it, so we do expect to see the buyers here, but boy, I'll tell you, it's been here for a few weeks now. So we're going to continue to trade this as a sideways range here on the Russell. And now you can see the highs and the lows of that range. And so now you know here, sell the highs, buy the lows and be aware the middle is going to be really sloppy, and you can see that's pretty much right where we are right now. So let's give you guys some options if you do want to be trading inside that range for tomorrow. So if you're not a long-term buyer or seller, what are our options for tomorrow? And I move to my 16 anchor chart. Now, I thought this was kind of funny in the upper left-hand corner, right? It looks like a Christmas tree here, right? I mean, we get every color in the rainbow here, and obviously that tells us that between our long-term time frames bullish, short-term or medium-term time frame bearish, and of course the short-term time frame is mildly bearish right now, right? Kind of half and half right now. So we are definitely just a little confused here as far as our long-term direction on the Russell right now. We don't need that indicator to tell us this, right? We already know we got our sideways range here, so this is going to be the range high, right, up around 1190, and then you get the range low down around 1160, right? And of course, this is the area where you were looking to buy off last night's newsletter. So again, we were thinking that it might just collapse here, but we talked about this yesterday. We really got to be careful selling the lows of that range. So what are we supposed to be doing right now? Well, we're back inside that range and most likely pushing higher. Now, we got some buying opportunities right now, but remember, these are going to be you got to really be careful here being a buyer too high. I really want to be a buyer right now. Right, I really want to be a buyer right now. So we're looking for a buying opportunity here, but in all reality, it's a lower percentage area to be buying right now. I've already told you where the higher percentage areas are going to be a buyer on the Russell. Now, as we go higher, I would definitely be considering a sell. And there are 3 areas here where I can, we'll say 4, where I'm waiting for a chance to sell short. Now, the first one we get to, this 1179 down to 1173, right, that's going to be a lower percentage sell zone because it's in the middle, right? That's ultimately why I call this area right here a lower percentage sell zone, because it's right in the middle of that range. So if you're going to trade it, maybe trade half size, look for a really good pattern to trigger, and of course your target will be back down at those lows. The same will go if we go right through it. I have an extension target up at 1183.1. If you're a buyer right now in the Russell, that is definitely where you want to be looking to take some profit, 1183.1. If you're a seller on the Russell though, that's an excellent spot now, just like I said earlier, take that short up near the highs of that range, and your target is right back at those lows. If we go all the way up, right, then this would be the best one up here, right? There are 2 very high percentage areas to sell on this chart. One is at the dark red sell zone, and the next one up at the high here from today, right, at the 95.8. So right where it says sell this, that's where you want to be looking to sell here for tomorrow for the best selling opportunities. Now, these markets change relatively quickly in the overnight session. This could be completely different tomorrow morning. So as always, don't forget, I'm doing my best to give you some levels, but if things move overnight here, come out and see me tomorrow in our trade room, and I'll walk you through the scenario that we're working with for tomorrow on the Russell. So I think the most important thing around the Russell is be aware of this sideways range, right? Be aware of where that range is and do not sell into that low. And definitely, if we get back to those highs here, you got to be selling those highs here going into tomorrow. Now, last but not least here, we look at the price action chart. In last night's newsletter, I touched on the fact that I'm introducing our newest trading strategy. It's not new to School of Trade students, but it's new to our newsletter. I'm trying to get trying to find a happy medium here of not too slow of a time frame to waste your time for tomorrow. Basically, with my newsletter, I'm the only person I've ever seen on the internet that has the cojones to put their money where their mouth is and predict for tomorrow. So it's a challenge to be able to anticipate where we're going to be 18 hours from now and still give you something you can work with, right? So think about how difficult that is right now, trying to play that balancing act. I don't want to go too fast of a time frame because it'll be worthless by the time we open up tomorrow morning. I don't want to go too slow of a time frame because obviously then we're more on the swing trading, position type trading strategy there. So again, trying to kind of massage this price action strategy into our newsletter right now. And, well, if you saw it last night, we nailed it last night. So I'm going to keep on doing it. As you can see here, key trend line break. We really, from what I see right now in the Russell, we expect the buyers to retest the highs at 1171.7, right? So we're definitely expecting here, right? We got this bull run up, right? That takes us into the middle, late morning here, right? That came off the lows of that range from yesterday. We break that trend line, right? And so we expect here the buyers will probably try to make a run for it up to these highs. If they do get back to these highs here at 71.7, now we're a very bullish market going into tomorrow morning. So one more time, repeat that. If we do in the overnight session, or let's say before tomorrow's opening bell at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, if we make it back to that high of day, those buyers are definitely going to be in charge and will be looking to be a buyer. If they fail, right, overnight here, if they fail to go back to those highs, we're definitely looking at this to be a seller's market on Wednesday, right? Now, here's what I would expect. I would expect them to try to get back up here in the overnight, low volume. It'll be easy for any buyers in the market to push it up. But if they fail, we come back. We're probably going to get a short-term buy off that 63.3. But guys, if we tumble, we're going all the way back down here to that 1153.5. So right now, definitely looking for a retest of that high. If they retest that high in the overnight session, be ready for the buyers tomorrow morning to continue that move up. If we don't get up to that high, if we fail, as it says right here, you'll probably be able to get a buy right here. You'll probably be able to get a short-term buy right there, and it may continue all the way up. I don't think it will, but again, a lot can change between now and tomorrow morning at 10:15 in the morning. Just wait till you see all the news we got coming out tomorrow. But trust me, guys, if we fail to go back up, hit that high, if we roll over, if we collapse below, if we can get below this 63.3, I got my money on 1153 area right by the end of the day tomorrow. All right, guys? So be aware of that tomorrow. And again, on this Russell, don't forget, come out and see me tomorrow in the trade room, and I'll walk you right through all this stuff in real time. Now, how about the gold? How about that gold? Boy, sometimes it's just too easy, isn't it? I mean, this was easy money on the gold if you took my advice last night, right? Last night's newsletter, my exact words were, expect them to try to go higher and collapse, and that's exactly what happened. We go back into the range, just as we expected, right? Gold goes back inside that range, but you'll notice here, it didn't officially just boom, right? It didn't collapse. It didn't just tank and head back to those lows. So what this tells me is we're around that 1200, right? We're stuck in the mud around 1200. We're at the highs of the range. Now, guys, I would love to think this is going to make it really easy on me, and it's just going to collapse, and then you'll know exactly what I know, get short down to those lows, right? So if we see the sellers take control overnight, guys, you know where we're going. We're going right back to those lows. You've got targets waiting for you as you're going lower. I just don't think they're going to make it that easy on us. I just don't think they're going to make it that easy on us. So what my gut tells me right now is they try to make one more run for this before we get that final shot here to bury these buyers and finish the job back down to the lows of that range. Remember, guys, trading ranges are great. Once we get back inside of them, usually they'll go to the opposite side of that range, right? Look what you saw right here, right? All the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Now, if we do just push higher here and we keep on going, all right, if we retest these highs, guys, if we retest these highs, now this becomes a relatively strong bull market here, all right? If we retest those highs, that now becomes a very big bullish clue if we retest the highs. But again, I'm not expecting it to. I'm expecting it to try to retest the highs. And then when it fails, we'll be looking for that short on the way back down. All right? Now, could I buy right here? Could you buy right here? You could buy, but I'll tell you, this is not a good habit to get into. You don't want to get into a habit of buying the high of this range, okay? So my personal opinion, I would wait for some other poor sucker to be the buyer here. And, again, there may be something that happens overnight. I'm going to look at the news in a moment, and you're going to see there's a ton of news here coming out in London session. We may get a news reaction and push higher. Again, if we get back to this high, though, be ready for the buyers to take full control. If we can't get back to the high and we roll over, you know where we're going, 41.7 all the way back at the edge of the range. All right, guys? Next up here, go from the 32 down to the 16, and you can see here, this is where we take our anchor chart and we speed it up a little bit here now. So now you've got some really easy areas to work with now. Okay, so here's our range. Now, a little bit, kind of follow the bouncing ball here, right? So there's our range. Okay, that's the range we just saw in the 32. Here we are, right? We're right just below the high of that range. Okay, so remember, my plan is that price will go up, try to hit that high, and then collapse and go back down. So that's where these sell zones come in handy overhead, right? So now you've got some ammunition for those buyers here, right? So we got 1206, 1209, 1214 to 1217. Those are going to be two delicious areas here overhead to get short. And if I had to choose one of them, I would definitely choose the higher of the two. Okay, I would definitely choose the higher of the two. But again, remember, if we get back to that high up here at 1221, we're going to be bulls most likely here going to tomorrow's session. Okay, so I'm looking at price to go up, and then so I can sell it right back down. I've got targets waiting for me here at 83, 81.4, 58.7, and again, that long-term collapse target at 41.7, we'll call it 42, right? Hopefully we can get all the way back down there on this next try to go lower. I'll tell you right now, though, what you don't want to do not sell right here. This is a really difficult spot to be a seller. If I want to be a seller, you've really got three options. Option 1, bull trap. Option 2, 6.2. Option 3, 14.7. Those are really the only things I'd be looking for. Do not sell this low, right? Do not sell that low. Wait for the buyers to try to go higher. Once they fail, gotcha. Right where we want you. I love the ability to sell at a premium, sell at a higher price. That way I get a better entry and there's a lot more profit in my pocket at the end of the day. Now, finishing up here on price action for gold, expecting the sellers to retest the lows. As you can see, this is pretty much exactly what we had expected from last night's newsletter. We had this strong channel in last night's newsletter, right? We broke the channel, and I said, all right, these buyers are probably going to try to retest that high. If they fail, we're going to collapse. And you can see they tried, failed, and we didn't quite make the big collapse, okay? I was expecting it to revisit those lows, but as you can see, it's a little bit timid. So now we look at another short-term channel, right? New short-term channel. Sorry for the whistling. I break the channel, and again, I will now expect those sellers to retest that low, right? I'll expect them to retest that low. Now, I do not want to sell at that low. I've got a couple options here, just like we said before on the last chart, right? I can sell the range high at 1210. I can sell as long as we don't get back to that 1221. I do not want us, well, if I'm a bear, I do not want to see price go to 1221 here between now and tomorrow morning before the opening bell. Okay, right now, if we go back to that high now, we're probably going to continue going here for tomorrow. All right. What I'm looking for is, like I said last chart, I'm looking for price to jump out of this range so I can swat it back down. We'll get short with some nice, big, tasty targets down there at 65.8 and 41.7. Right? That's what I'm looking for here for tomorrow. Now, if we do go lower, right? If we do go lower, then you've got your chance here now to sell the retracement here. All right, but do not sell that low at 91.4. That's just begging to get stopped out, just begging to give the money, right? Just, send me the money. I'll lock it up in some CD for you for 6 months, right? That way you can't lose it by selling the lows. We do not sell the lows. We sell at resistance. We sell at the highs. Now, if we go up, right, little bull trap, the bulls get trapped in, they fail. You could take a little nibble, right, off that high of the range, sell the high there. I would like to sell the 1210. And then if we go lower without going higher, we'll sell the retracement. Just make sure you do not sell that low at 91.4. All right, promise me that, guys. Okay, let's keep going. On the gold here, you can see what the plan is here on gold. We're expecting to go a little bit higher before it drops lower. We'll see how tomorrow plays out with that. How about some crude? Right? Well, I'll tell you, like I said earlier, sometimes this stuff is just too easy, right? We talked about this yesterday. Last night's newsletter, my exact words were, duh, shocker, right? Anybody could have assumed that they were going to buy this thing up after the, $10 move over the past week while we were at holiday, right? So while the traders around the world were on vacation, right, for the Thanksgiving holiday, price collapses on crude oil. Do you think they're going to buy it back up? Yeah, obviously. So we pretty much knew why the price was jumping up yesterday. And in last night's newsletter, my exact words were, anyone can put together a one-day rally, right? So the buyers, they're pounding their chests, right? We're in charge. No, not so fast. And just like I said last night, right? Not so fast. We're going to sell this thing right back down. And I don't know, guys. I mean, technical analysis doesn't work, does it? Yeah, right. Yeah, that's just a random line on the chart. 66, 63. This stuff doesn't work. It doesn't work. What I love is when my critics tell me anyone can pick a bunch of levels on a chart. Right. If you think that's all I'm doing right now, then I wish I was on the same planet that you're on, right? What planet is that? Bottom line, though, easy to tell what we did yesterday was exactly correct. Now what's the plan for tomorrow, right? As expected, we come off the highs. Now we're inside the range. What do we do inside the range? We stay very careful, right? It's easy to buy lows and sell highs of these ranges. Now we're back in the middle of that range now. Here's where the trouble comes. We have ultimately the best option for a seller is going to be if price overnight goes right back to that high, and I will sell that high right over again. If we collapse and go lower, though, now that becomes a bit of a challenge because we're right in the middle of that range, right? So let's take a look at this at a little bit faster time frame. But just so we're all on the same page, though, we're still bearish. We're still going to sell the range highs. We're still going to sell the 72.44, 70.78. We're still going to sell the 73.25. We're still going to sell all those levels overhead. I don't see it happening tomorrow, but if we do get back up there, that's where we're going to be a seller. I'd definitely be looking for the high of that range, though, as a good short. But let's go further. Let's get our hands dirty here a little bit on these faster time frames. There we go. That's what I needed right there. Now this gives me the ability now to navigate inside of that range, right? Because, here's that big trading range that we just saw on the 32, right? There's that big trading range. And here we are right in the middle. I should be a little bit concerned about being right in the middle. You should be. Okay, as a scalper, as a day trader, as an intraday trader, being in the middle of the range, it's like, basically what's happening is you've got the buyers buying the lows, you've got the sellers selling the highs, and then inside of that range in between, right in the middle, there's nobody there. Well, I mean, there's people there, but they're not the ones that we want to be trading with. So we got to be careful in the middle of this range right now. So now what I'll do is I'll zoom into a faster time frame, and you can easily see we are clearly now in a sideways trading range, double tops, double bottoms, and then I've also got a couple levels overhead here, some swing levels overhead here that we can also kind of line up, right, as some additional areas overhead. So as we've kept reminding you the past 6 months, right, crude's bearish, stay focused to the sell side. So if I'm a seller right now, where am I going to sell this range? You know this, at the highs, right? Where's the high? I get a nice little tasty area there, 68.54, 68.33. That'll be an option for you to sell. I've got, what is that, 68.72, 68.78, 69.18, 69.50, right? All of these areas, as we go higher, you're going to have a chance here to sell. Now, let me tell you where you cannot sell right now. You ready? Make sure you remember this. Do not sell the low of this range. Do not sell this 66.60 to 66.50 area. It might collapse, but if you do that consistently, we don't sell the lows. And then we get a buy zone sitting right here. So I'm telling you right now, you try to sell that low, it's probably going to bounce you out and then just go with it anyways, right? It's better not even to try. It's difficult, I know, it's frustrating, right? You sell it when it breaks the low, it bounces you out. Unless you're willing to take a huge amount of risk on that, it's just not doable, in my opinion. And then watch, right while you're counting all the money you just lost, it's going to take off the downside and make you want to scream, right? That's just the way the markets work. The markets, they get a sick sense of humor, I'll tell you, and they love to strip open us human beings, right, and pick us apart, because what comes so easily for a human is just so wrong as a trader, right? And believe me, I wish it was different, but think of it as job security, right? If it was that easy, anybody would do it. So we know right now we do not want to sell these lows. But again, you know, we're probably here looking at the bearish side here for tomorrow. So as we go lower, what do? We wait for a break. Then what? Then we sell the retracement, right? We don't sell the low. We wait for a break of that low. Okay? Think of this as your average sideways trading range. We talked about this last night. What are the 3 ways to trade a consolidated range like this? There are 3 ways to do it. What are they? Who's been paying attention the past 6 months? I'm here every night, same time, same place. What's the option? Option number 1. I'm looking at the trend as we're going into the consolidation range. Trend is down. Let's say, for example, right? Trend is down. I'm looking to be a seller. I have 3 options right now. Option 1, I see a breakout opposite to the trend, and we sell it right back down in. That's option number 1. Option number 2 is we use a trap. Price tries to go higher. We see that friendly little reversal candle, right, colored red, and we sell it back down. So the first 2 scenarios are quite simple, right? They're very similar too. One's a trap and one's a fade. One's a trap and one's a fade. Where's the third one? The third one, you got it. You got it. You're getting good. The third one now, you got it, right? We go below that low. We do not sell that low, right? Because you know what's going to happen if you sell that low. You might make some money every once in a while, but you're not going to get lucky every day in the market. It's not going to happen, right? Those are our 3 options for trading a consolidated range, right? So now that you know this, ready? 1, 2, 3, boom. Now look where we are. See? Now you can see it. So where's my options, right? Where would I want to be a seller? Exactly what we just talked about. Sell the highs with a bull trap. Sell the highs with a fade. Sell with a retracement. Okay? This is easy stuff, guys. This is easy stuff, and I can't wait to teach you all of this as a student at School of Trade, right? Think how much information I'm going to teach you guys in just a few weeks being with me in the trade room, all right? Look to sell short right now at these highs, and we're going to try to hold this baby down to that 64.97. I'd love to get down to that 63.72. Last chart here, guys. Last chart here. Oh, you're going to give me this candle right now, crude? Globac's just opened up here as I'm recording this video right now. Let's talk about crude price action. This was easy. This was easy. We nailed this short today in our trade room today. What a great trade that was up at those highs. We really nailed down that range, and once we saw that bearish channel overshoot here. It was easy, right? So we got our retest of the low. That's definitely a bearish sign. And now we'll think another move lower here. I've got a target here for us at 65.95 down to 65.69. Basically, I've got the prior week low, and then what is 65.99? I don't know what it is. Probably. Oh, it's this week's open. That's what it is. Yeah, so you got Monday's open. So 65.95, 65.69, those are my price action targets. And is it really going to give me a reversal candle right now? I mean, if this thing closes red and closes down like this, guys, this is an easy short right now overnight. This is an easy sell here going into tomorrow morning's open. So right now we can see here we expect the sellers to retest the lows, right? So we definitely expect them to get back to that low a day right now. And if this candle closes red and bearish, you can get in short right now on it. If we don't go lower here, though, if for some reason it closes up, we'll definitely be looking for another short up at that range high, right? Up at the range highs up top here. So not a lot different on this, right? There really isn't. There really isn't a lot different. The only difference we have right now is we actually have a big clue right now that says if this current candlestick on my price action chart, if this thing closes bearish, this is a short. This is definitely a short. Down to 66.67, down to 65.99, and then dare I say, I don't think we go to 63.72 here, but that could be later on this week, right? That's the prior day. That'd be Monday's low. Okay, so prior week low 65.69, prior day low 63.72. And again, guys, do not do this on your own tomorrow. You do not need to go at this on your own, guys. All right? Not when I got my trade room opening up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So be ready for the sellers tomorrow here. Again, really looking short on gold, looking short on crude, and on the Russell, we're trading sideways. So any way it goes in the Russell, just don't trade the middle. Last but not least, let's wrap up with tomorrow's news. Now, we shouldn't have to wait that long because we've got some Red Star news from our good friends in Australia, Japan, and China overnight. So this is why I kept saying earlier on in the newsletter, we may see this thing really shaken up here overnight. So when I come back tomorrow morning to my desk here, open up my trade room at 8 o'clock, we'll do a quick overview and see what's happened in the overnight session because, as you can see, there are 3 Red Star news events before we even go into tomorrow. Then I've got GDP from the Swissy, PMI in France. We've got PMI in Germany. I mean, look at this. There are 8 Red Star news events before we open tomorrow morning in the U.S. Something tells me we just might get some action off of that, right? Yeah, absolutely. But now you have a plan. Right? So now if you're in Asia, if you're in London, be ready with the plan I've given you tonight. Now what about those poor suckers in the U.S.? Right? we come in after all the party's over pretty much. Well, not that much. We get the ADP employment at 8:15. We got productivity and costs at 8:30. We get the BOC announcement at 10. We get ISM non-manufacturing at 10, and then of course inventories at 10:30 a.m. Couple things on this news here, guys. Couple things here for this news. First, ADP employment tomorrow morning. Don't be scared by that. It is a big news report, but it's going to be a little puppy dog tomorrow. It's not going to affect much. That ADP employment report is actually going to be a leading indicator ahead of Friday's non-farm payrolls. You're not going to see a very big reaction to it, but just you wait. Thursday, Friday, you're going to start seeing what people saw from that ADP employment report. It will start to price in the news for Friday. So again, 8:15 tomorrow morning in the U.S. You're not going to see a big move off of it most likely, but you will likely see that play into Friday's non-farm payroll. If I had to guess right now, the most important news of the morning for the U.S. traders is going to happen in London. I don't think we're going to get, from what I can see so far, there's a good chance we're going to be all tuckered out after those moves in China, right? Australia, we got the news out of London. There's a good chance here we might be range bound by the time we get to the U.S. session tomorrow morning. No guarantee, obviously, right? But that's what we expect. Now, second thing here, we've got the petroleum status report. Tomorrow is inventory day on crude. Be careful trading crude within a half an hour of either side. So tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., we are on our best behavior when it comes to the black gold, the Texas tea, the crude oil futures. All right, guys? If you want specific instructions on how I trade inventories, we have a very specific way we trade inventory day and specifically the reaction to the inventories. I'll give you a hint. Usually the opposite is what we go with after that news comes out. If the news comes out tomorrow morning on crude oil at 10:30 a.m. and the bulls push it up, get ready for a short. Oftentimes, it's the opposite direction. Then we know we've got beige book tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, so be on your toes tomorrow afternoon. So we get a big day tomorrow. News starting in Asia, moving to London, moving to the U.S. It's going to be a day jam-packed with exciting opportunities for you guys tomorrow. And just like today, who knows where this thing will go? All we know is we're not going to think this thing too much. We're going to find that trend, find those setups, and find those patterns. The only thing I have to worry about tomorrow, there's two things I worry about as a trader. One, where's the pattern? Two, make sure I don't risk more than 2% of the account on every pattern that I take. That way I can absorb a couple hits, and I can still make money that day no matter what mistakes I make. All right, guys, don't worry. Don't overthink this stuff. Find that pattern and come join us tomorrow in our trade room, and I'll walk you right on through what we're seeing. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today. Thanks so much for joining us on our newsletter. And if you happen to mosey over here to SchoolOfTrade.com, don't forget to join our free trial. Don't forget, we've got 3 levels of membership. You can learn more about each level of membership by watching that video. And we always have someone standing by here 24 hours a day, 365 to help you guys out. Guys, don't forget to learn it so you can earn it, and come out and see us tomorrow in our live trade room. Opens up at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm out of here for now. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Joseph, broadcasting from a completely waterlogged and rainy day here in Los Angeles. It never rains here in LA, and people are freaking out. So, hey, stars must be aligning that. Have a great evening. Be safe out there tomorrow. Don't forget about crude inventories at 10:30, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.